Welcome to the Mike and JD Show YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. I want you to do me a big favor before you check out this clip. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to throw in a comment and make sure you're a subscriber to this channel. And then I want you to share this video with your friends. Help us defeat the algorithm. And then if you like this content and you appreciate this content, please head over to patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show and support the show. That is how we actually get funded to be able to do this. So we thank you very much for being here. And now enjoy the clip.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you work your A game. A made no rains on the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game, better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you work your A game. A made no rains on the track when we
Let's get into TNA Hard to Kill. I know there's gonna be some TNA fans out there checking out the podcast, and I'll probably clip this part for our YouTube channel. But so we got TNA Hard to Kill coming up this weekend, and it's gonna be a big show, one of the biggest shows in the history of Anthem-owned TNA. I'm gonna pull up the ticket sales right now. So Dobby the Brain Heenan, Patreon subscriber, sent me an update. He's probably not watching live, but he'll check out this podcast in a little bit. He sent me an email. He said, in case I don't get a chance to update you later, there 1,200 tickets sold out of 1,402 available. So they're 85% sold. So I didn't get a chance to look at Snake Eyes, but last was at actually, and then Snake Eyes is they've sold 1,008 tickets out of 1,180. So they're doing pretty good. TNA is opening up new seats every single day, and then right now they got a little bit of like 1,400 seats in there, and they might even have more coming up this weekend. So we'll see how. I think Astro is chiming in, but we'll see how we'll see how all their tickets are moving here coming up here pretty soon. But man, looking good for Hard to Kill. They're still teasing that there's going to be a big signing. There's Dobby right there, up to 1,228 now. He's got me. Okay. So yeah, I think we're gonna we'll probably get to 1,400 and maybe even more come showtime, because the thing about Vegas that people don't realize is they're a huge walk-up town. Like the Palms, the Palms employees, and I'm sure TNA will have some people out. They'll have people out there on the strip like hawking tickets, and there'll be people there in the casino like pulling drunks off the craps table and trying to get them to buy tickets, or even getting them in for free like Showtime to fill that place up. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had over 1,500 people, 1,600 people. So if you think about it, here's what I want people to do when they talk about TNA. You cannot compare what TNA does to what AEW does. Just like you cannot compare what AEW does to what WWE does. It's not a fair comparison, right? It's not an apples to apples comparison. AEW and WWE have a bigger reach. They have much larger budgets. They're working with tons more money than what TNA is doing. If you want to call this a success, you need to compare it what TNA had done previously, specifically in the city of Las Vegas. And in the city of Las Vegas, at Sam's Town Casino, they sold about 750 tickets, right? So they've doubled their ticket amount. So they're already up like 200% better than what they were before. And the fact of the matter is, they didn't really put together like a crazy card. There are no feuds, there are no storylines, and they haven't had a television show in 2 months. So they've really done this all based off of a rebrand, and I feel like it's been pretty damn successful. And a lot of the ticket sales that we've been seeing lately is just because they went ahead and spent money on billboards around Vegas, and people are like, oh shit, that's happening. And then people are buying tickets and shit. So it's JD sneezing. It's a pretty big success for these guys. So congrats to TNA.
No, huge congrats. Like I kind of picked on like the quote unquote buzz a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to give them some credit here. They've done a really good job closing this out, and they're going to get a really good crowd for themselves. I think the rebrand's been pretty good. I like the new belts for the most part.
Yeah.
Everybody lost their mind for the knockout belt being white, and I'm like, who fucking cares? It's white. Why does that matter? But I think on the whole, the belts are designed really well. I think they look good.
Yeah.
From a design perspective. There's some good looking titles.
Yeah, they're some of my favorite titles. I think that the knockouts and the world title probably my two favorites of the bunch. But I thought the crew that designed these belts, the Hellfire Designs, I thought they hit a home run with these ones. And you can tell that TNA they put some money into these things. These are not cheaply made titles. Those Impact titles were trash. Like when you see the two titles side by side whenever they do the reveal videos, like the new title versus the old title, I'm like, like those old titles look disgusting compared to the new titles. it's like just cheap bowling trophy bullshit title. Like throw that thing in the fucking trash. These new TNA belts are incredible. I love them.
Well, we do have a bowling trophy in this company, so yeah.
Yeah, that is true. The call your shot bowling trophy.
Mm-hmm.
So just quick rundown of the card. Main event: Alex Shelley versus Moose. JD, you're not really up on TNA, so you can chime in who you think's gonna win if you want to. But
Well, I have a friend who's an expert in TNA who said Moose got in really great shape, which probably tips off that he's winning the title.
yeah. So like I said, Moose is looking like Lex Luger. He's so shredded. I follow him on Facebook, and he's posting videos every day working out. And the guy's got veins popping everywhere, man. He looks incredible, and he's not doing that to come in and lose. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Moose on that deal. Although Alex Shelley has been a really good champion, but I think they're gonna go.
Oh, Michael,
yes.
Hold on, Mike.
Yeah.
I popped onto Twitter real quick, and I have to have you eat some shit. I just enjoy Mike gets to eat some shit.
Hold on. Should I pull the tweet up? Should I share screen?
Yes.
Or can you do that? Because I don't have the tweet. Can you do that? Present.
I don't.
If you hit that present button, hit the present button down on the bottom in the middle.
I got it on my other computer. I can't.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at
so is it Sam Shipman?
It's Sam Shipman. She of the Power Bombshells says, I'll just read it. Says, I'm watching the show on my phone and can't comment, but I was at Collision last Sunday. They're selling Sting's last tour t-shirts.
Hey, Sam, delete your Twitter account, please, and never talk to me again. Don't ever prove me wrong in public. That's so funny.
I appreciate it. I know she's listening. Yeah. I'm glad I looked at Twitter for
moments. You know what? I'm glad they took my idea retroactively. I'm glad they took the idea that I was planning on talking about since Monday. I'm glad they took that idea and ran with it yesterday, or
ran with it a couple weeks ago. that was good. That was great. Thank you, Sam. I hope you're still listening to the show.
I'm gonna pick a good
hey, they want us. They want us on their show. I said we record a video for them because they're doing a thing, so we should actually record something and send it to them.
Yeah. They wanted me to call in, and I really wanted to, but it's my wife's birthday weekend, so we're gonna be doing family stuff all weekend, so I will not be able to do that.
Andy got his first tournament of the year. He's finally over the pneumonia, so I gotta take him up there. So maybe we should record something afterwards, real quick for them.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. Running down the card, Trinity versus Jordan Grace. This one's a tough one to pick, considering Trinity's probably gonna be in the Royal Rumble in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Against Jordan Grace, the perennial champion who always gets the belt when someone's leaving. Wonder who's going to win this one.
Yeah, it should be a decent match, though.
We kept Trinity nice and strong on our way out, so that's good. Unlike someone else.
Yeah. I like the way they booked Trinity. Now Jordan Grace beats somebody important. I don't see what's wrong with that. And most of the people that Trinity beat don't even work here anymore, so who cares?
Deanna did like 800 jobs on the way out. She was like Barry Horowitz the last year of the company.
Yeah. Josh Alexander versus Alex Hammerstone. That's gonna be my most interesting match of the night. What do we think?
Boy, I gotta go Josh because he works here. But here's what I'm hoping. I hope Josh wins and Hammerstone beats his ass after the match, and then we find out that Hammerstone's sticking around.
Yeah, I'd like to have them have a banger, and then actually I hate that word. I want them to have a really good match.
Bangers.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I want them to have a really good match, and then afterwards I want D'Amore to come out and hand the contract. I think that would be cool.
That's lame. That's not fun.
But that's TNA tradition. They just did it last month with Trent Seven. That's how Josh Alexander got his contract.
Yes.
That's how Speedball got his contracts. It's kind of just that's how Leon Slater got signed. So but your idea might actually lead to more interesting television, though. I would say.
I got this bad thing about wanting to watch because I'm gonna start watching TNA again when the show is actually rebranded going forward. I just want to watch good TV.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Next up, we got Chris Sabin versus Vikingo versus Kushida. And because I hate Sam Shipman now, I'm going to go ahead and pick Kushida because he just signed.
Oh, Kushida is
yeah.
Well, it won't be Vikingo because
no,
he's all over the place, and I don't think you want to put a title on him. I'm going to go. I think Kushida's probably the move.
Yeah, I could see them flipping every single title. Honestly,
I
that
could
wouldn't
too.
surprise me because it's like a new day, you know.
Yeah.
And then we got Ace Austin and Chris Bay versus the Rascals versus the Grizzled Young Vets versus Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. With this one, I'm going to stick with ABC keeping it, even though I could also see any one of these teams winning.
I'm gonna go with the Grizzly Young Vets because I think they're coming in. They don't really have a lot of buzz coming off of NXT, but I mean, like they're very well respected and they're super stoked to be here. And I think it could establish them good coming out of the gate. Like I like what you just said. I'm gonna go with that, with flipping every belt coming out.
Okay, I dig it. Match, or let's see. Then we got the Ultimate X. We got Giselle Shaw, Zaya Brookshire, Jody Threat, Tasha Steeles, Alicia Edwards, and Danny Luna. I'm gonna pick Danny just because she's the new person that's signed. Like they got a hard contract on her.
Can I say I think this match is gonna suck? I have no faith.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Because whenever they started to announce names, I thought they were gonna have better wrestlers in it, right? And so I think the two best are probably Giselle and Jody Threat. Danny Luna's pretty good. She's a little young, but she's still pretty good. But I think this is gonna be kind of a clunky mess, which might end up being fun if they do something stupid. That'd be cool.
In Ultimate X, especially. Like I have this vision of Alicia hanging off the X and dying. Like I just
It's
I don't know.
Worth the price of admission, I guess. I don't.
Fair.
It's gonna be clunky. I could see that.
I'll say Danny Luna too, just because it seems like they got some interest in her. So sure, why not?
Yeah. And then of course, match of the night: PCO and Dirty Tango.
I don't care.
Yeah, don't care either. I think somebody that just signed a contract is gonna come and end this match quick, so kill our misery.
I'd be okay with that.
Rich Swann and Steve Macklin. I'm going Steve Macklin.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm gonna say Swan just to get your goat a little bit.
Oh, you bastard. Eddie Edwards and Myers versus Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. 4 TNA originals. Myers did have a cup of coffee in the old TNA, so 4 TNA originals. Yeah.
Okay. But, I'll let. Sure. Okay. Yeah. We'll let that one go.
Yeah.
I'll go with who's Frankie teaming with again?
Eric Young.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eric Young, and I don't think they're gonna make Eric Young lose. Like he's Mr. TNA. I don't think they're gonna make him lose.
See how and then on the product right now? I'm like, sure, that guy.
Yeah. And then lastly, Tommy Dreamer versus Crazy Steve in a digital media championship match.
Tommy Dreamer. Holy shit, do I not care about this? Honestly, okay.
It's on the pre-show, by the way.
Honestly,
it's on the pre-show. Yeah.
As the digital media belt usually is.
Yeah.
I would love to see Crazy Steve win this, but there's no way they're going to take that off of Tommy Dreamer.
You know what I think about Tommy Dreamer, JD? This is what I think about Tommy. This is what
I've had enough of that fat bastard. That piece of shit.
Here, let me just reiterate my feelings on Tommy Dreamer one more time.
I've had enough of that fat bastard. That piece of shit.
I've been setting up this bit all day.
I am so happy. That's great.
In case you didn't know, that was a Stephen A. Smith on one Jason Whitlock. He went off on Jason Whitlock this week. It was great television.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I don't care. I get the feeling that somehow that digital media title is going to end up on one Top Dollah's shoulder at some point because they're bringing him in for at least for Hard to Kill. They're bringing him in for at least Hard to Kill, and that's kind of about it.
I'm sorry, I just had to garrote wire myself at the thought of having to watch Top Dollar. My favorite thing in the world is watching people work themselves into pretending Top Dollar is like good and has like value and like we actually want to see that because he wants to be in TNA. People are like, oh yeah, remember that time he almost broke his face? He was actually really good. It actually saved his life. So it's a good thing that he embarrassed himself on national TV like that. That's awesome.
So I did a whole podcast about Top Dollar, and so
I can't believe you did that.
Well, no, not the entire thing was dedicated to him. There was lots of other updates, but he was at the beginning of it. But Because I had some. I wanted to call him Dollar General. That's my.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
I
that
call him
so much.
Dollar General AJ Francis. Here's what Top Dollar can do. He can bring a guy like DJ Woo Kid, who is pretty popular in the hip hop community, right? And he can get you on some sports stations. He's got connections with hip hop. And then he had DJ Woo Kid on the sideline of the Citrus Bowl wearing a teenage jacket. But then all of a sudden, when the bell rings, it's like nobody cares, right? So if you got him as a kind of a hype man for somebody, I'm fine with that. Like I don't want to see the guy wrestle though. Like he's just not any good. But he's coming in on Saturday with DJ Woo Kid. He's not signed to this company. I don't think he's going to stick around that long, even if he does. In fact, when they made the announcement that he was coming in with Woo Kid, the original graphic didn't even have him on it. He ended up making his own graphic and putting himself on it and tweeting it out. And then all of a sudden he was able to get himself onto TMZ, and then finally TNA decided to put him on the graphic. I think that's their way of telling us that they only brought him in because they wanted to get DJ Woo Kid on their show.
I can't read this name, Mike. What is he?
It says name cannot be blank, and he said that was a little harsh, but I get it. I think he's talking about the Stephen A. Smith.
The Stephen A. Smith, or me hanging myself and saying Top Dollar.
No, it's Stephen A. Smith. Because I will say, at least Top Dollar did some research and actually know some people on the roster feel like, well, he's trying to get a job, right? Like,
yeah.
And here's the here's the thing, and this is, and I try to like, he's a self-starter, he's a self-promoter.
I agree with that.
I think if you did bring the guy in, he's going to be constantly promoting your brand all the time, and that's what he's advertising himself on social media. The guy is a social media influencer. That's what you get out of him. When the bell rings, you get dog shit, unfortunately, because he just never improved from the NXT, right? He just never got any better.
You're telling me you want your own version of Tyrus, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, but Tyrus, people didn't like Tyrus, right? That was the difference. People like Top Dollar. No, I'm serious. Like he's got a lot of friends. Like people actually really like this guy. Like all the wrestlers seem to like him. The rappers seem to like him. He's always there on the sidelines of football games. The guy's got connections. Like people like the guy. He's very charitable. Like he's not a bad dude. Like Tyrus was an asshole, like a total loser.
No, you're right. Oh, right? No, you're right about that.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't want to lump him in with him.
I don't know, man. He had a bad reputation in WWE both times for pissing a lot of people off. They all got released the first time because he was running his mouth, right? And then he came back, and Michael Cole, who is the voice of the company. Remember, Michael Cole gets produced and is told what to say. And every time Top Dollar was in the ring, it was ridicule the man beat like no one else could see. Like
he called him Flop Dollar, which is pretty. That's Mike Gilbert level.
Pretty funny. That's that is
Yeah.
pretty funny, actually. So I mean, like he might have a lot of friends, but it seems like he's also really good at pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah. Well, I think he thinks that he's pretty valuable. So, and that could be tough on him. Now, I'm not advocating that they sign him. I just know TNA. I just know TNA, and it just seems like he's a guy that they would like. So.
I don't disagree with that. I think is that Scott's big signing?
No, because because dude, they didn't even put him on the graphic whenever they made the announcement of DJ Woo Kid. I don't think they think that he's like coming, like he's going to be around. I think the big signing, and I've been saying it for weeks, even whenever people were pointing towards Mercedes Moné, it's Dolph, right? I think that's the guy, but that's one thing that I think is going to happen. I think another thing, the Worlds Collide thing has got me thinking that maybe somebody that's currently on the AEW roster, on the WWE roster, might show up for an appearance. Not wrestling, but just kind of show up. So I think it would kind of be cool to see Sting in TNA one last time before he retires. Like not wrestling, but just show up in the arena. I think that would be cool. I don't think they might not do it. That would be fun, or see like AJ Styles pop up at some point. You know, that's pretty tough because he's a top star in WWE. But I think something like the Worlds Collide thing that they're really hitting hard, and you'll never guess who's going to show up. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that.
2 weeks ago, I was super negative on Nemeth coming in, but the more I watched him do his New Japan stuff, he does seem revitalized. He does seem like he has something to prove, which I didn't think he had that in him. It's looking like I'm kind of going to be happy to be wrong.
Yeah. I think WWE beat that guy down, and he just kind of like gave up on doing what they wanted him to do in that system. He's like, I'd be prepared to go 60 minutes and I get 90 seconds. He goes, what do you want me to do with that? right? Like he's kind of been speaking out about that thing, about that. So he was a good soldier for a long time, and leaving WWE is a difficult thing to do. That's a lot of money, right? That is a huge platform. That's mailbox money every 2 weeks that is like life altering. And then when you get used to having that, like it critically changes your trajectory in life. And so, but now what I wanted to see from him before somebody took a flyer on him was, take Japan dates, but I wanted to see him like start working all over the place, working all the indies, and proving himself, which you just brought up, and that's what he's doing. He's got bookings in Puerto Rico, the UK, Australia, bookings everywhere, man. So I'm curious to see what he's capable of. Go ahead. You want to shit on Scotty Wrestling? Go ahead.
No, I don't want to shit on Scotty Wrestling. Shout out to the Neminator. When we were in college, Nick Nemeth had pink hair, and he had his own shirt that had like screen pressed on the back of it, Neminator. And we were all like, God, this guy's a fucking tool. Again, rival schools, and he was a pretty good junk wrestler. And like he was so disliked by everybody on my team, and that is how he referred to himself 20 years ago. So the fact that you just threw that up there, Scott, blew my mind and brought me back.
That's so funny. The one time I had ever seen him in person, like outside of the ring, was at WrestleMania whenever they were in Santa Clara. The big Sting versus Triple H, WrestleMania, and I was at the WWE's hotel. Like I was staying at it. Like we got a deal on Hotwire. It was like $100 for a $500 room. So we just grabbed it. We had no idea. David Hadley, welcome back. So how's wrestling season going, JD? We'll get into that. I'm just gonna tell this story real quick. Well, I'm at the hotel. We're having dinner at the restaurant. The 49ers there, Ric Flair's there, Kevin Nash and The Miz are at the bar. All these wrestlers are all over the place, and in walks Dolph Ziggler. And he is wearing a blazer, some white pants, skin tight white pants, and a Dolph Ziggler t-shirt. And I was like, this is not a guy that I would hang out with. Like he wrestles, he walks around in public with his own merchandise on.
Lord, I'm not surprised at all. To hear that. So Nick, this was in college. Nick Nemeth went to Kent State. I went to Northern Illinois. We're both rival MAC schools. We wrestled each other in the conference duel. No, I didn't wrestle them. I was a different weight class. But our schools wrestled each other to decide the conference tournament. So we just two schools didn't like each other. Hey, David Hadley, season's all right. We're ranked 10th in the state of Illinois. It's been a lot of ups and downs this year. Been driving me crazy. So yeah, I just me and Nemeth goes back 20 years. He don't know who I am. He might remember like, oh yeah, Northern's 97 pounder. Okay, I kind of remember that guy. But I remember him because a year later he showed up on my TV with Chavo Guerrero, and I went, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" So you never forget that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
remember that when he was the caddy for Kerwin White.
Chavo Guerrero was playing a character who was Mexican but wanted to be white and turned his back on his people.
You know how you said we've gotten better? You're right. I was wrong. That would never happen today. Wow.